What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 12 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Today, we are starting the World Cup season. I was selected to be a part of Team India, and so this is the qualifying round. This week, we are playing Norway as part of our initial sort of bracket. And this week, I'm bringing a Calyrex Palkia team. There's really not much to say. It is just the standard sort of comp. There's nothing super special about it, so I don't really think there needs to be a rental for it because it is just like kind of a generic team, and we all really know what to expect. So I just wanted to give a quick woohoo as we jump right into things. So yeah, with that, let's just get rocking and rolling and move into this best of three. All right, so we are hopping right into it. So we are playing Christian as part of, or Christian as part of what's it called? The tournament. So we are, like I said, playing Calyrex Palkia, so let's see how that kind of goes over. Always got to do the mustard theme, and let's just kind of rock and roll and see how this works out. So don't really know what to expect. Obviously, it's very hard to scout my opponent. There's no info, so we're playing something that I feel confident with, and you know it's always good to kind of do that. So let's see what we're looking at here. Zacian, Ogre, Grim, or Rilla with Grim, Ensign, and Lando. Okay, so I really like Ensign with Porygon 2. I like Ensign Palkia actually. Calyrex, and then I'm wondering if Amoonguss is worth it here. Or do I want Feeny? Let's try this. Let's try Ensign with Palkia, Cali, and Amoonguss. Let's do that. I think it's our best bet. Worst case, we can pivot and immediately max what's it called? Max the Palkia just to try and put pressure if we see a Landorus lead. I mean, not a Landorus lead, a Grimmsnarl lead. So a lot of different options. I do want to definitely set up the Trick Room. I think Calyrex is in a good position to sweep right, being able to deal with that Lando as well as that Rillaboom. So options there. Also Quake Boost, being able to hit that Zacian and set up against Ogre. I think both of our restricteds are in a good position. We do have to be a little bit weary of that Grimmsnarl though, of what it can do, as we are going to see the Grimmsnarl lead with the Zacian. So my immediate thought, right, is to go for the easy fake out. I actually want to fake out the Grim. We are Roselli Berry, so in that regard, or I could just straight max. I'm gonna go for a fake out onto the Grimmsnarl and set up a Trick Room with the Palkia, right? Because of the Roselli Berry, we do have the ability to sponge up a play rough, and also the fake out is very obvious. So I do hopefully want to see a protect come out from the Zacian to let us create a situation where we can put on immediate pressure. I know it is probably a little bit, I mean, it is very early to make a read like this, but it just feels very sort of like the right thing to do. Also, okay, so we are going to see the Zacian not going for protect here, so that definitely is going to, okay, so we are going to see the play rough. Play rough, reveal, which is big. Also glad I put that Roselli Berry, as it is going to be a crit, so that definitely is going to be really unfortunate here. I think at this point, Palkia has unfortunately done its job. I very much would like to parting shot out the Zacian, as well as go for a Hydro Pump onto this Grimmsnarl, just trying to get a little bit of chip here, and then we do have the ability to, I think, bring out Amoonguss, and then Amoonguss really lets us start putting things to sleep, which can be really huge, as we should most likely see Palkia get knocked out, I'm guessing, as a result of something like a what's it called? Yeah, we should see Palkia get knocked out as a result of probably a Spirit Break from the Grimmsnarl. That's what I'm expecting, like a Spirit Break there, and then trying to do damage into the Incineroar. As we are going to see the Zacian just pivot out, so into the Kyogre, so that's actually really good for us, right? We are going to be able to immediately get a parting shot out onto this Ogre, let us bring out our Amoonguss pretty freely, as we should, like I said, see. Okay, so it is going to be Foul Play. So Foul Play reveal is huge. Foul Play, because that makes our, what's it called? Our Calyrex in a little bit of an awkward spot. We can take advantage of the fact that we do have access to Amoonguss, right? So we can go for the Spore to stop any sort of foul play coming out. I do want to try, though. Yeah, we got to deal with this Grimmsnarl pretty quickly, just because of the fact that I don't really want... yeah, let's bring out Amoonguss. I think Amoonguss is the best bet here, right? It, what's it called? It can put stuff to sleep. It also lets us kind of set up. So I think at this point, what I want to do here is I'm going to go for a Quake into the Ogre and a Spore into the Grimmsnarl. Just trying to stop that foul play more than anything, right? Like, because of the fact that it doesn't care about my attack stat. Definitely good to know. We are going to see a swap out. This should be Incin. Yep, we are going to see the Incin in the back. So getting that Quake damage onto it is going to be really huge. Just trying to like reduce that, like get rid of threats as much as possible, as we are going to go real big with this, what's it called? With this Calyrex. Also worth noting is my Incin is Focus Sash, and we still have that Sash intact. So that can really sort of play a big role in things, as we are going to be able to immediately, hopefully, fire off a Max Quake. I'm guessing we do have to potentially worry about a Reflect being set up, but not the end of the world, as we're just going to see a straight Spore. So that's actually really good for us, right? Being able to put that Grimmsnarl to sleep. I'm hoping for a 2-shot onto this Grimmsnarl to make it so that we can, I mean, not onto this Grimmsnarl, onto this Incin, to make it so that we can get those boosts and get in a really strong position. It is going to be just barely a 2-shot, but we will take that. I think there is a chance that my opponent does switch out, but I don't think that that's necessarily the end of the world. I do, like, whatever switches in, right, is not going to enjoy a Max Quake, so I'm going to go for that. I'm also just going to go for a Pollen Puff onto, I'm actually going to go for a Rage Powder, just in the event that the Grimmsnarl wakes up and goes for foul play, right? I don't want it to hit into my Calyrex. We could see a swap here, but like I said, what really is going to want to take this, if you bring out your Kyogre, right, like we can put it to sleep. If you bring out your Zacian, it's going to take quite a big chunk, so we are going to see... it looks like the Incin is going to probably be sacked off here. We are luckily getting a 2-turn sleep on this Grimmsnarl, so that's going to let us fire off some really big damage. And like I said, at this point, whatever you're going to bring outright is not going to like this situation at all. I think we do, though, have to keep going for the Rage Powder, just because of the fact that this Grimmsnarl does have the ability sort of to fire off foul play, and we can't really afford that. We do have Incin in the back, which I think is really sort of a nice option, but like I said, want to really be wary of that potential damage, especially if we rack up a couple boosts. We are at neutral, and we are now at +2 special defense, and with the Amoonguss, right, like that puts us in such a strong position for this Kyogre, right? We can get some really big damage onto it immediately, and so that, like I said, is going to be really helpful, especially when dealing with this, what's it called, this Kyogre. We could, I mean, yeah, so it depends on, okay, so we are going to see Zacian come out here. So we do have to go for a very obvious Rage Powder. We are Babiri Berry, though, so that sort of helps us out. We do have 1 turn of Trick Room left, so I definitely would like to Quake into the Zacian, as well as go for a Rage Powder with the Amoonguss. I think we should be in a position where we can, okay, so it does actually make things a little bit tricky, just because of the fact that I don't know if we can survive a, what's it called? So, oh, no, because we're not going to survive the second hit. So that foul play is going to unfortunately be able to go off. So that, we might have to do a little bit of pivoting to try and get around things. I think, though, we're fine, right? We will be able to get some good damage. Zacian is going to go for damage here. I think that that is smart. You really sort of need that coming out. We are going to see the Grimmsnarl wake up, as it is going to go for a foul play onto this Amoonguss. Shouldn't do that much. Yeah, it's going to do pretty much nothing, as Quake going to be able to fire off here onto that Zacian. Should hopefully knock it out. Yeah, so we are going to be able just to get a big one-hit knockout onto this, what's it called? Onto this Zacian. So now we are at +3 special defense, which I think is huge. We still are in a little bit of an awkward position, but I think with Amoonguss being at +3, right, like we can set up a second Trick Room, and I think from that we can go for a Rage Powder and a Trick Room, and then under that second Trick Room, right, we can really start going for damage with Calyrex. So I think that that's huge, right? Like we should actually wait. There's one turn of rain, so I'm actually going to go for the double protect, just because I want to stall out how much damage it can do, right? Like if you go for the max geyser, obviously in the rain it's going to do a lot, but if we can make it so it's outside of rain, that is going to sort of be really huge. And also then we do have the ability, like I said, to sponge up that damage a little bit more. There is a chance of a hailstorm. We are going to see the late game ogre, which I think is fine, right? We do have the ability just to eat up this hit through the protect and the +3 special defense. We can then pretty safely set up a Trick Room for us. We can put that Grimmsnarl back to sleep and then just start going for huge amounts of damage onto this ogre, and we can heal up with Calyrex. So using the, what's it called? The Pollen Puff. So I think we're in a really solid position, though. I do, like I said, wanted to just go for that sort of yeah, I did want to protect just to sponge up this incoming. Oh, it is going to be a max lightning. So lightning is, I think, even better, right? Like that did 8 damage through protect. So we can very easily, I think, set up a Trick Room now. And I do want to just get rid of this Grimmsnarl, right? So we can go for a Rage Powder and go for, so yeah, we can go for a Trick Room here, as well as a Rage Powder. And I think that that was smart of my opponent, right, to correctly identify that they want to set up the lightning. So that's actually really good to know, right? Lightning. We also haven't seen an item on, what's it called? This Kyogre. So that's also some really interesting piece, as we are going to see the geyser come out onto the Amoonguss. So shouldn't be doing that much at all. Yeah, it's going to do basically no damage at all. That's going to let us, so I think what I want to actually do is we should see a foul play. Yep, the foul play is going to come out here onto the Amoonguss. Amoonguss getting a little bit low, but what I think the best, given how little that did and the fact that we still have a Citrus Berry, I want to go for a Glacial Lance as well as a Rage Powder again. Just trying to get rid of the, I think if we can get rid of the Grimmsnarl and get another boost onto this Calyrex, right? Like we should be in a really strong position. We could have protected, in all honesty, just trying to get rid of that last turn of Dynamax, as we are going to be able to see the foul play that should put us into the Citrus Berry range. Trying to do as much damage as we can. Also, we do want to, what's it called? Get some damage onto this Ogre after its max finishes, because of the fact that it will have access to Water Spout, as we are going to see this Max Geyser come out onto the Amoonguss, right? So Amoonguss hanging on there, really sort of being the big MVP of this this game. I think at this point we are free to fire off another Glacial Lance as well as a Rage Powder. I also noticed that I did not PP max my Glacial Lance, so that's really scary. Oh god, that actually is that is less than ideal for sure. We will though be able to get this knockout onto the Grimmsnarl, and then at that point we can really just start putting on pressure immediately. We did see a lead of Grimmsnarl with Zacian. I do expect my opponent to kind of switch that up. We haven't revealed the Focus Sash on Incineroar yet, which I think is going to play a really big role. They do see we have Citrus Berry on, what's it called, on the Amoonguss, so that really can sort of change the tide, right? They might expect to see, what's it called? They might expect to see the citrus or the focus sash there, because it is a sort of a common item. As the origin pulse is going to come out, it is going to avoid Amoonguss, but I don't think in the end of the day that matters in the slightest, as Calyrex is going to take a whopping, like 40 damage there. That's going to let us just fire off a high horsepower. But though it is, like I said, a little bit scary, given the fact that I don't have max PP on my Glacial Lance, right? Like that really is going to be a potential issue, as we are just going to be able to fire off this high horsepower and take game number 1. So feeling really good about that. Where did I put my phone? I'm just going to say a quick GG to my opponent as we get into game number 2. So quick going into the messages to say GG, exclamation point. And then, yes, we always take the lead card. I think that's important. We got the GG going. And so let's go into game number 2. I think I have no reason to change the leads. We did see Reflect on this. So Reflect. So that tells me you don't have, what's it called? You don't have Play Rough. I mean, not Play Rough. You don't have Spirit Break. So I actually feel really good about the same 4 here. I think that especially if we can get a position where what's it called, where Calyrex can sweep, we should take advantage of that. It is worth noting, I should note that Quake at neutral 1-hit KO. That's a really big piece of information there. I'm just trying to think, right, like what sort of a adjustment can my opponent make? I think Rillaboom is an option. Obviously, we saw with the Ogre being able to set up is huge. We haven't, like I said, revealed. We have not revealed the words. We have not revealed the Focus Sash on Ensign. So I think that actually has a lot of potential here. Especially, like, we can just go straight for a max on Palkia instead of trying to set up Trick Room, as we are going to see Ensign Zacian. So lead Zacian. I think actually, in all honesty, it is fine just to go for a fake out and a max Geyser into I could just do that. I honestly am tempted just to go straight for a fake out and a max Geyser to KO their Ensign, and then that lets me, yeah, let's do that. Let's we're up a game. I'm gonna go for a Geyser here, and I am going to fake out this Zacian. That way, if you want to switch out into what's it called, into your own what am I trying to say? I will be able to get the knockout onto your Ensign, which is really big if you choose to leave that in. This is, I think, a little bit more aggressive than I need to be, but I think it's fine, right? Like, we do have access to Amoonguss, so we can really sort of neutralize what this Kyogre wants to do. So that's going to be huge here, as we are going to go just straight for the max. I think we could see, what's it called, a fake out come out, but I don't really see that being a big deal. Also, like I said, we can put it in a position where Palkia should just be able to pretty swiftly deal with Zacian as a result of the second turn of max. We can also go for a parting shot if we want, just to be safe. We should see the fake out come out, so that's really good to see. I'm hoping the fake out goes into my Palkia. Yep, perfect. So that's really huge, right? We are able to preserve the sash on my Palkia, which definitely will play a big role, as we will just get rid of this Incineroar, barring a Focus Sash of their own, as we are going to see, it looks like no Focus Sash. I always forget when the animation is. Yeah, so we are going to just knock out that Incin, which is huge. So now I think it really depends on what's in the back. I expect Kyogre. I expect Kyogre to come out here, so I think what I want to do, if that's the case, is I want to go for a Geyser onto this Zacian, and then just go for a parting shot out, probably onto the Ogre, just with the idea of trying to neutralize the max. So yeah, we are going to see Kyogre come out here. I think that just makes the most amount of sense. I am free to click Geyser here, and then I think just going, nope, wrong button. Going for a parting shot onto this Kyogre, right? Trying to neutralize some damage as much as possible. We very much could see a double up into the Palkia with the combination of Clay Rough and Max Lightning, which would be even like better for me, right? Like that gives me a free switch in into Amoonguss. Amoonguss can put in a lot of work, as yeah, we are going to see the Max Ogre here. I do expect worst case to reveal the Focus Sash on my Incineroar. And also, like I said, I saw the Lightning, which really suggests to me you don't have Ice Beam, which can play a very, very big role in how this game sort of turns out, being able just to put on a ton of pressure. So we are going to see the Play Rough. It is going to, okay, I was like, it is going to miss, which is a little bit unfortunate. No critical hit this time, so we are able to absolutely take that. We are going to fire the parting shot off into the Kyogre, so good to know. Slow Ogre. Slower than Sashi, or than Incin, which is huge. I think we can just bring out our Amoonguss pretty freely here, being able just to then start going for Rage Powder, and also taking advantage of the fact that this Kyogre is going to be at -1. Palkia going for the Max. I thought that there was a berry on Zacian for a second, and I was really concerned. So Zacian is going to go down there. So at this point, right, we are one turn down in terms of Max, but also, right, we're going to see the Lightning come out into Palkia, really just trying to avoid the instant switch in. But I think at this point, right, like we are in just such a strong position overall. I don't really think that it matters. So let's see what my opponent has in the back. It could be a, okay, so we are going to see Grimmsnarl back. I very much would just like to Geyser into Grim, as well as go for a Rage Powder here. I think, like I said, being able just to deal with the Grim, if we can get rid of the Grimmsnarl, right, like that also puts us in a really good position, because then we have the ability to bring out Incin and just parting shot out the Ogre, right? We can do it at least twice, and basically revolving door with our Amoonguss and make it so, like, yeah, we just get a ton of damage. I think if you're my opponent, you have to go for a light screen at this point. You cannot really afford to let what's it called? You cannot afford to let my Palkia just like put in work. We do have the ability to heal it though with Pollen Puff, which I think is going to be huge, as we are going to just see the Rage Powder come out. Like I said, I think you have to go for a light screen here. We are going to see, yeah, the light screen. I think that is absolutely necessary, especially given the fact that we do have this Amoonguss. So I am going to be able to fire off this huge Max Geyser into the Grimmsnarl, almost picking up the knockout, so we can pretty safely, I think, go for Rage Powder the subsequent turn. We are going to see Strike. So Strike is a cool reveal from this Ogre. Strike. I think, though, a second sort of redirection, and then hopefully an Earth Power should be able to pick up the knockout. So I'm going to go... I don't want to risk the accuracy. I'm going to go for that, and I'm going to go for a Rage Powder here, just making it so we can sort of revolving door out this Kyogre. I think after that we can try. We could have just gone for Protect, in all honesty. I think I am playing it a little bit aggressively because I'm up a game, and I don't agree with that. Also, I think that they're Assault Vest. If we're seeing Strike, that really suggests to me that you're Assault Vest. So I think that Calyrex is going to be huge here, as the Strike going to come out onto the little mushroom. That's going to trigger our what's it called? Our Citrus Berry, and then I think from there we can be in a really good position where we can pivot out into Incineroar, and then fire off another parting shot, which can really sort of turn the tide in our favor. We are going to be able to fire off this Earth Power. I really need it to get the KO. Yeah, so it looks like the crit, I don't know if it was necessary, but overall I think that should put us in a really strong spot, right? Like you're left with this Kyogre at -1 versus an Incineroar, which can do a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go for the Spatial Rend and then do a switch out into Incin, just with the idea that we can then go for a Fake Out for extra damage, and then go for a parting shot out back to Amoonguss, which should be able to sort of let us rinse and repeat this cycle, right? At this point, knowing that we are faster is huge. Palkia is Probably a little bit lower than I would have liked, but I think it's fine. We're going to see just a straight Hyper Beam come out onto the probably Ensign. Yep, onto the Ensign. And yeah, as a result of that parting shot, like not even doing that much. Spatial Rend going to come out here. Yeah, that's definitely Assault Vest. So now we know that the Ogre cannot protect, so I'm fine to go for another Spatial Rend and then switch back out into Amoonguss and sort of create a scenario where we can cycle out a bunch of drops and also use Amoonguss just to really neutralize what this Kyogre can do. I also don't know if I went for a parting shot. I might not have. Love that. So electricity is gone, so that's even better, right? We have the ability at this point to fire off a Spore. So I'm gonna go for I'm gonna go for a Spatial Rend just because I can, as well as go for a Spore. I think just putting this Kyogre to sleep and then making it so I can continually fire off hits is going to be important. They are going to miss the Thunder. I don't, like I said, think it's a big deal because of the fact that we do have Pollen Puff. So I can very easily just sort of recover the damage. But it is sort of a little scary seeing as how little that Ogre is taking from our, our Spatial Rends. Also, I mean, their light screen wears off. So at this point, right, the Spatial Rend is going to do a lot more damage. I'm going to go for the Pollen Puff just to get a little bit of healing up and make sure that we are, in a sort of strong position in the end game. So yeah, Kyogre going to stay asleep here. We're gonna get healed up. It's at -2, so really not much to worry about. We also still have a full HP Calyrex in the back, and so yeah, almost picking up a knockout with that critical hit. And so if the Pollen Puff had gone into my other thing into the Kyogre, I would have won. So I'm not going to risk the accuracy here. I'm fine to go for that, as well as go for a Rage Powder just to avoid any sort of random crit that can come out, right? Like I don't want to chance it. So we are going to see the sleep. So yeah, I feel like it's definitely Assault Vest, and I'm still glad we were able to pull through with that. So overall, I think a really fun set. I'm really excited to post more World Cup videos. Huge shout out to my opponent. Huge shout out to all the other teams. I hope that people are ready for some fun best of threes, because we're gonna have a bunch of those coming up. So overall, like I said, it was a fun set, and definitely make sure to subscribe so we can keep working our way towards 1 billion subscribers. And with that, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.